If you close your eyes and imagine the most terrifying spider you know of or have heard of, there's a good chance you'll picture a tarantula. And it's really not that hard to see why, considering that these hairy arachnids are among the largest spiders in the world, with some species reaching leg spans of up to 11 inches. There's certainly no arguing that encountering one of these 8-legged giants would end in a bad day for most people with arachnophobia. But in some ways, modern tarantulas may not have been the scariest spiders to ever exist, as people often overlook that tarantulas aren't some ravenous slayers that gobble up small mammals and birds on the daily. In fact, recent studies suggest that most tarantulas are relatively docile predators that specialize in hunting insects and other arthropods. This fact might surprise many, given their imposing size and fearsome reputation. The rather surprising find is also further supported by their habitats, which range from tropical rainforests to arid deserts, where large prey items are often scarce. So now, insects, centipedes, and occasionally small lizards are thought to make up the bulk of their diet. So it looks like tarantulas just aren't as scary as we once thought, unless you're a cricket, that is. But it turns out that there were actually prehistoric spiders who could be the perfect candidates to take the tarantula's place as being Earth's most terrifying arachnid. Some of these not only possessed more voracious and exotic diets, but also had much more grisly ways of dispatching prey. On top of this, recent studies suggest that this relatively obscure group of spiders grew to be even more imposing than modern tarantulas. These were the Mesotheli, a suborder of primitive spiders. As of today, only one family of Mesotheli survives, the Liphistidae, with just 5 genera known to science. But their origins go back much further than modern tarantulas, with the oldest Mesotheli fossils dating back to the Carboniferous period, specifically about 390 million years ago. Strangely, very little is known about these first members due to the rarity of their fossils. In fact, to date, we have only a handful of complete specimens, with one of the only pieces of information we have being that they lived worldwide, suggesting that this group first appeared as a global phenomenon. What's more is that whatever these spiders were, they wasted no time in diversifying. And before the end of the Carboniferous, the Mesotheli had already established a fairly large range with multiple species being present throughout the world's ancient forests and swamps. These members were diverse, not only in range, but in size too, as some, like the Arachnophobia, were relatively small, only measuring about 0.4 inches or 1 centimeter in body length, while others like the Megarachni were much larger, occasionally reaching over 13.5 inches or 34 centimeters in body length, far larger than any modern spider. And that is a terrifying size, no doubt. But these early Mesotheli were not yet the top predators in their environments, as they still lived in the shadows of giant insects and amphibians. It's thought that to survive, these spiders took on opportunistic diets, feasting on anything that they could come by, which in some cases included large insects and even small vertebrates. This is demonstrated by a highly unique Arachnophobia fossil, which showed the remains of a small amphibian in its abdomen. Along with the occasional vertebrate, large insects, other arachnids, and even small reptiles are all thought to have been fair game for these predators. Although they hadn't reached their full potential during this time, they were still already utilizing the first characteristic that arguably made them more brutal than modern spiders: their fangs. Like tarantulas and other modern spiders, these Mesotheli were active predators who used venom to subdue their prey. However, where they differed, and what ultimately set them apart, was the orientation of their fangs, which pointed straight down rather than inwards like in modern spiders. This led paleontologists to suggest that these spiders could deliver more powerful and deeper bites that would cause massive damage to their prey. Now, your first thought may be that this is actually less effective than modern spiders, as the inward-facing fangs allow for a more secure grip. Well, not really, because they could still capture prey that was plenty big thanks to their powerful legs and large size. But then, in order to devour the victim, which was often too big to be swallowed whole, they would simply use their fangs and digestive enzymes to liquefy them into a drinkable soup, possibly spinning their prey with silk in a fashion similar to what is seen in modern orb weavers, resulting in a terrifying death for their unfortunate victims. Suffice to say, you wouldn't want to go out this way, and unfortunately for many ancient arthropods, this became a terrible fate harder and harder to avoid as time went on. The Mesothelae eventually took on a trend of becoming bigger and bigger with each new genus, which during the Permian culminated with Permothele, one of the largest known prehistoric spiders. This monstrous arachnid inhabited both Pangaea's forests and swamps during the final days of the Permian period, and was already reaching sizes that dwarfed that of the largest spiders of today. Specimens seem to have grown to be around 6 inches or 15 centimeters in body length, making them about twice the size of the largest known tarantulas. However, some Permothele fossils suggest they could get even bigger, sometimes growing to be 8 inches or 20 centimeters in body length, which would put them on the same playing field as some of the largest known prehistoric scorpions. At this size, Permothele was starting to show just how problematic these Mesothelae could be, and within its habitat of Permian forests, it's thought that practically every arthropod around would have been on the menu for adults. What's more is that Permothele had another trick that made it a bigger menace than the insects and other arachnids it coexisted with, and that was its adaptability. You see, Permothele is one of the very few prehistoric spiders we know of that actually survived major climatic changes. While we know that certain groups persisted, it's extremely rare to find a single genus that can be traced through multiple geological periods. This is all the more impressive when considering that a large adult would have required significant amounts of prey, which is typically challenging during times of environmental stress. The reason it was able to survive has been attributed to its diverse diet, its ability to adapt to changing environments, and its extremely efficient hunting strategies. With the world changing and new prey evolving, there was nothing left to stop Permothele from taking this family of spiders to the next level. And by the time the Triassic had rolled in, Permothele had managed to evolve into something even more terrifying. Triacothele, a genus that would make modern tarantulas look like harmless house spiders in comparison. Triacothele absolutely dwarfed its predecessor, with the latest estimates suggesting a body length of anywhere from 10 inches or 25 centimeters to a staggering 12 inches or 30 centimeters. At the higher numbers, Triacothele becomes the largest spider known to science. It was also ridiculously robust for a spider, with leg spans potentially reaching up to 30 inches or 75 centimeters, which is similar to the size of a medium dog. Surely seeing this creature would have invoked some pretty intense primal fears, and sadly for all those with arachnophobia, encountering this spider would have been far easier than meeting any modern tarantula. Unlike most modern spiders, Triacothele is thought to have been a highly active hunter that prowled around vast stretches of ancient forests, where it could have easily set up ambushes on unsuspecting prey that were then dispatched by its powerful fangs, and subsequently liquefied by its potent venom. Analysis of the areas it lived in indicates a diet that was varied and rather impressive, with prey possibly including different kinds of insects, small reptiles, and even early mammals. What's more is that within its environment, Triacothele was one of the biggest arthropod predators around, making it a formidable apex predator among invertebrates. It retained this status for millions of years. But Triacothele wasn't the only nightmare crawling in prehistoric forests. Enter Mongolarachni, a genus of prehistoric spider that existed much later, during the Middle Jurassic period, about 165 million years ago. What made Mongolarachni truly terrifying wasn't just its size, which at about 1 inch or 2.5 centimeters in body length was impressive but not record-breaking. No, what made Mongolarachni the stuff of nightmares was its incredible leg span and unique adaptations. Mongolarachni possessed legs that were extraordinarily long for its body size, giving it a total leg span of nearly 6 inches or 15 centimeters. This made it an efficient hunter, able to cover large areas quickly and snare prey much larger than itself. But what truly set Mongol arachne apart was its silk-producing capabilities. Fossil evidence suggests that Mongol arachne could produce exceptionally strong silk, possibly even stronger than that of modern orb weavers. The combination of its large size, long legs, and super strong silk would have made Mongol arachne a formidable predator in the Jurassic forests. While not as large as Triasothele, the thought of encountering a spider with such long legs and powerful silk is truly spine-chilling. But neither Triasothele nor Mongol arachne stick around forever. Triasothele seemingly went extinct by the time the Jurassic period began, perhaps as a result of competition from newly evolved predators like early dinosaurs and more advanced arachnids. Mongol arachne, on the other hand, disappeared sometime after the Middle Jurassic, likely due to changing environments and the evolution of more specialized spider groups. Today, our world is still home to impressive spiders, but none quite match the terrifying proportions or bizarre adaptations of their prehistoric ancestors. The Goliath bird eater, often considered the world's largest spider, maxes out at about 5 inches or 12 centimeters in body length. Impressive, but a mere fraction of the size of Triasothele. Even the largest known leg span of a modern spider, belonging to the giant huntsman, reaches only about 12 inches or 30 centimeters, less than half the potential span of Triasothele. Yet these modern spiders are the legacy of those ancient arachnid terrors. They've inherited millions of years of evolutionary refinement, resulting in the perfectly adapted predators we see today. While they may not reach the sizes of Triasothele or spin the super strong silk of Mongol arachne, they're no less remarkable, and perhaps in their own way, no less terrifying to those who encounter them in the dark corners of our modern world.